Good afternoon and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. I thought today was Saturday, guys, because my dad was home from work today. Because yesterday I told you about how my mom had to have she had to have like a scan done on her neck. And long story short, guys, she's like allergic to the dye, so they had to like do it in the hospital and everything like that. So my dad ended up taking off work because their appointment was at like 9 o'clock last night, and so they didn't get home until like 10 or 10:30 or something like that. And then they ended up, so my dad knew that he wasn't gonna, he gets up for work at like 4 in the morning or something like that. So he was like, yeah, if I'm going, then he wasn't going to be able to probably get up for work today. So that's why he ended up staying home, but he is working tomorrow. Which, guys, brings into a whole nother problem that I'm really upset about. That because he is working tomorrow, my mom was going to take us to the volleyball tournament. And she had work. And then she found out that she doesn't actually, for what she has to do tomorrow, she doesn't actually, for her website thing, she doesn't actually have to do it tomorrow. And that she is doing it today and Sunday. So, unfortunately, fortunately then we were like, oh, so we can go to Matthew's volleyball tournament. And then the puppy got sick. And he has, not been able to stomach food at all today. So, he's also been kind of, a little lethargic. Not totally, I don't know. He hasn't seemed really himself. He's still kind of, running around and playing and everything like that. But, he just, honestly, guys, when we were first fostered him, they gave my mom this food. I think it's Evolve dog food or something like that. And this stuff stinks. My mom opened the bag and she was like, oh my gosh, this smells like chicken coop. It smelled really, nasty, raw, not raw meat, but just I don't know, holistic-y, nature-y kind of smell, kind of nasty. And then, right after she started feeding it to him, which it's not even puppy food, but she started feeding it to him, and he started farting really, really, really bad. And it smelled just like the dog food that we were giving him. And so then my mom was like, well, let's try and give him the canned food that they gave us, which he was on medicine anyway. Because he had an infection or something like that, and he kicked it, but he was on medication or something. And so they gave her wet food to give him his medication, or give it with his medication. So, she only was giving him, a little bit of it just so that he would take the medicine that was in there. And so, and he would, scarf it down. He started having some not so lovely bathroom experiences outside also. So yeah, that's when, and when he was farting and his poo started to smell too, the dog food. So my mom had stopped giving him that and tried to give him some of our dog food, which we just have dog chow, I think is what we have for the dogs. And even though I know I call my two puppies, but they're technically a year old now, and they're not even on puppy food anymore. They're dogs, guys, I guess. I don't know. When do they actually count? I thought after they're 2 years old is when they're actually not a puppy anymore. But anyways, though, so she was trying to give him some of that, and he just, he didn't look like he really wanted to eat it. And so then she tried to give him his wet dog food and tried to use that as a last resort. And then he ended up eating it, and then ended up throwing it all up. So, we don't really know what the problem is. At first, he ate it, and he threw it up, immediately. And then, he kept it down for, a couple hours, and then ended up throwing it back up. And so, yeah, he has not, he's been drinking water, too, but he hasn't been drinking, that much water, and he doesn't really, we're not totally sure what's going on. So my mom was gonna originally take him tonight to the vet, and then ended up deciding that she was gonna take him tomorrow in the morning. And this was before, when she thought she was still having to work on Saturday. So she didn't know. So if she would have taken him tonight, then we wouldn't have had to have to have her go tomorrow, and then we could go to the volleyball game, if obviously there's nothing like too wrong with the puppy. But now my mom says her stomach's hurting too. So guys, I am going to be super, super sad if we don't get to go to Matthew's volleyball tournament tomorrow. And even like his girlfriend wants to go too, and I think I told you guys, her car had a flat tire when she was over at our house, and my dad helped Matthew and her like replace it and put the spare on, and they went and got new tires, but they haven't put the new tires on yet, or new tire, I guess. I don't know if they got all new tires or what, but that whole thing ended up happening. So she doesn't have a car, so she can't get to the game in the tournament, which is like over an hour away. And which I have no clue why on earth we are going to this tournament. It is so bizarre. But I'm going to be super, super bummed, guys, if we don't get to go to this tournament, because tournaments are my favorite thing ever in volleyball. And like, I you know, the games are like fun and everything like that, but I love to watch the volleyball tournaments. Like, I mean, I don't hope that they do bad, but if they don't do well, then at least I don't feel like I'm missing anything. But if they like get first or second or something like that, I'm going to be even more bummed out if we don't go. Because, like, you know, if they were like, oh, like, we got like 6th place or something like that, I'll be like, oh, tough, you know, and like, you didn't really miss too much. But they've been playing really well recently, and so that's why. And this team this year seems to do well at tournaments, and they haven't been doing well in like the regular season games. And so like, I'm gonna be really upset if they don't do well, like, honestly, guys. So yeah, I don't know what's going on for tomorrow, but Matthew's girlfriend asked if we'd be able to take her, but we're like, well, it's kind of up in the air depending on what happens with the puppy. They're just, I think, supposed to do a really quick test, and my mom's supposed to be there 8 o'clock, so we're thinking that she'll be done no later than 9 o'clock, hopefully, fingers crossed. And if that is the case, then we can hopefully get there by like to the tournament by like maybe 11 o'clock or something like that, and maybe at least catch like the last 2 games or something like that. I don't even know how many they're supposed to play, because like in the tournaments we've done in the past, sometimes it's only like they'll play, I think, 4. They've played like 3 or 4 games, 5 games, 6 games sometimes. I have no clue. And I don't know how long it's supposed to last. So yeah, I remember doing one tournament. It was like it was like longer than I feel like they've normally done it. So yeah, guys, though, like I said, if we don't get to like go to this, I'll be really sad, because it's Matthew's last tournament that he's ever going to be playing in high school, and that makes it even more kind of sad. But yeah, guys, and I'm like also really upset though that my dad can't go, but he has to work because he took off today. So you know, it was like the last tournament, I guess, was the last time that he was going to be able to see it. And like the last tournament too, though, he was there late for. He wasn't even there for the whole thing. So yeah, guys, I'm like, I miss getting up like super early in the morning and going to the tournaments. Like, that was my favorite thing about spring, honestly. For the last like 4 years we've done this, and now it's like, yeah, we're gonna just kind of see if we're able to go. Like, I don't know, guys. I'm a little upset, but I don't want, obviously I want to make sure the puppy's okay and he gets to the vet and everything like that, and obviously my dad has to work and stuff like that, but it's just like, I feel so bad for Matthew too, especially if we're not there, and like, you know, everybody, even his girlfriend, like, wants to come out and support him for his last game, but it's like, we all have these like kind of emergency things, you know, that are kind of like came up that like we have to make sure that we get to and stuff like that. And so yeah, but originally I was going to see if his girlfriend couldn't take me to the game if she was going, and then she had to ask if we were going because she doesn't have a car yet, or doesn't have the tire on her car. So yeah, it's like everybody's like scrambling around to see like, are we going, can you take us, you know, kind of thing and stuff. So yeah, but these babies, they're sleeping in my bed, aren't you guys? Bravo and Charlie, they are tuckered out today. They played with the puppy, and they had fun playing with Scooter, right? They're so exhausted. They did really well playing with Scooter today, which was, like, nice, because he is, like, he doesn't necessarily, I don't think, understands a lot of, like, puppy language and stuff like that, and, like, dog language. And so they're kind of, I think, teaching him that. And like, you know, he just comes up and he kind of bulldozes into them and like jumps on them and stuff like that. And I don't think he realizes really what he's doing and stuff like that. And so they were pretty good today, kind of putting him in his place, like, you know, no, you can't jump on us kind of thing and stuff like that. And so I thought it was kind of good to see them also stick up for themselves and not be super chicken babies. But yeah, today was, I think, it was a pretty successful day between the two of them. Charlie actually is constantly begging to go into the living room to go play with Scooter, which is also really weird because I thought that Bravo would kind of be more like that, but Bravo's a little bit like protective of us. So we've been like down on their level a little bit more instead of like sitting up on the chairs, kind of like playing with Scooter and letting Bravo know like that it's okay, that like, you know, he kind of jumps and plays around with us and stuff like that, and he's been loosening up a little bit more. And today I thought was really good. So I think they're coming around. I think it's good that they're doing this, but now that, you know, hopefully he's not sick, you know, he, like I said, that was a little bit like he took, I don't know that he necessarily took more naps today because he was super, like, energetic this morning. And then as it started to get later in the day, though, he kind of started to not be quite as energetic. He took, like, a nap and then he went to bed kind of early. But he wasn't, like super whiny and stuff like that. But you can tell he just doesn't really feel good because, like I said, he, like, threw up and, like, just... You know, he, like, was able to, like, eat some food, but not really. And then, like I said, too, like, he ate a lot all at once and then kind of, like, threw it up. And then he was able to keep it down for a while. But, yeah, I'm not totally sure what's going on. So, they're just running, like, a couple tests real quick on him just to double check and make sure it isn't something. They think, too, that it might have been the food also is what the vet and the lady from the shelter had said. But they're going to find out exactly what's going on. So... yeah, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow if we've got a volleyball tournament footage or not. So I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and we'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.